Hello! If you are knitting this raglan sweater along with me, then welcome back. In this video, we will knit the body part. You can look for links to raglan part and sleeve part in this video or see my channel. Enjoy, have fun, and thank you very much. So I just will knit 2 more rows all around. I am finished with my 2 rows with my different color, and actually I can go and cut this off because I don't need that anymore. Let's leave a tail a little. We will weave it in later on. And I am ready to connect back and front together and make sleeves separate. So if you look at this sweater, this is the sleeve area which I just finished knitting, okay, and my front or back, whichever it is next, and then I have sleeve again. So but if I want to connect front and back together, I have to first start knitting this front. Let's say this is front, okay? So right after you finish knitting 2 rows and you get to your starting point, go and knit to the next marker. This is my last stitch of the front part, and now I will just remove this for a while. Now the next part is to connect this side of the front to the side of the back, but it would be kind of stretchy. So what do we need to do? You see, it's kind of, it just is not good. So we need to actually move the sleeve area either on a piece of thick yarn, or in my case I will move these 48 stitches. Let me move this a little bit back. These 48 stitches onto my double pointed needles, and I will move 24 stitches on one needle and 24 stitches on another needle, so I can fold it really well and then connect my front to the back without any problem, okay? And you could do also the same thing with the yarn if you want to. So let me move these stitches. My stitches are moved to my double pointed needles, and now we will keep knitting around and connecting the back to the front. So as you see, we will not be knitting these two double pointed stitches on those 2 double pointed needles. Now usually people add about 4 stitches between the front and the back, and so I will not add 4, I will add only 2 stitches. And this is how I will do it. You just take the yarn, twist it so this part is in front of you, that leads to the ball, you know, to the skein, to the ball, yarn ball, and then you put it on the needle, and you do this one more time. You make a little loop, you kind of crisscross it with this yarn that goes to the ball that is in front or facing you, and you put it back and you put it on the needle. Okay, and now we are ready to continue knitting the back part. Okay, and just make it a little bit so you can see. I will just start knitting back part, okay? There. Now you see how this is very stretchy yarn. It's kind of stretchy, so make sure that when you're connecting these two together, make it kind of tighter if you can, okay? And continue knitting 68 stitches. And when we get to the next marker, we will connect the other side, because our other side is not connected. As you know, we do have sleeve. We still have sleeve right there. This is front, this is sleeve, and this is back. Okay, so I'll see you when I get to my next marker. I am at my next marker, and which is a marker between the back and my sleeve. And now I will see, this is sleeve, because this we started with lower number of stitches. So what we need to do is exactly the same what we did on this side. That means we need to move 24 stitches on one double pointed needle and 24 stitches on another double pointed needle, or in some cases, if you want, like I mentioned before, you can use yarn. Then you would go and just weave the yarn along all those stitches. Actually, maybe I should go and show you also that type of version. Yeah, I'm gonna go and get my thick yarn. So I went to get hook and a thick yarn. I use thick yarn usually when I'm working, when I'm putting the stitches on a yarn instead of holder or double pointed needles, because then the stitches don't get too small, and it's easier to transfer them back again onto the needles. Okay, and I'm gonna be using this hook that is, you know, fairly good. Any hook will do that, you know, is easy to work with and will grab the yarn well. Okay, and so what we will do is just transfer with the back. We just move those stitches from left needle onto the hook to the right, okay? And then, let me move this down a little bit. And then we will take yarn and let me turn it around so it's easier to move it through those stitches. You just move it through those stitches. What I do is I move the little beak kind of down and I push up so the beak can go through this little hole right there, if you know what I mean. Okay, now let's turn it back, and you do few more, again, few more stitches. I do it in sections. Do few more stitches. And let's not lose our stitches, right? Turn around. Grab the yarn again, make a, you know, loop, right? And as you are pulling the hook up a little bit and holding this tight, you move the beak down, and through the hole underneath you pull that yarn through. See? Look at that. Okay. It requires good dexterity of your fingers and also a little bit of thinking. And we will do a few more again. Then we go through those stitches again. Good, and we're done. Now we will pull the yarn through. Okay, and I leave really long ends because we do not want to lose the end stitch. You can actually even tie it. We are ready to connect the back to front, and that means we will add 2 more stitches. So we twist and add a stitch, twist and add a stitch, and tighten it up a little bit so those stitches are not too huge, they're not too big. I started knitting front, move the stitches of the sleeves onto the double pointed needles and continue knitting the back, moved the stitches of the sleeve onto the yarn, and we are basically finished with 1 row of back and front. Okay, so from now on we will count our rows, and let's put marker that this is our beginning. So we will just keep knitting around, and you can knit as many rows as you desire, you know, because you will be now knitting the length from underarm over to your either waist, or if you want the sweater to be as long as your hips or even longer. So that's how many rows you will knit, okay, to your desired length of the sweater. Just wanted to share with you one more thing before I start knitting further. Because these stitches were added, they were casted on in between these 2 parts, and they're kind of stretchy, so it's hard to put the needle and knit it. Okay, so what I usually do is I try to pull on it to make it bigger. Hold it with your thumb or finger. Okay, let me see, and go as close with the needles as possible, and then get in there. Then put that yarn, I mean that needle, so you can grab the yarn. Okay, and here again, you see, pull on it, make it bigger, hold it, and then hold it with the thumb if possible, and then pull the yarn, make the stitch. Okay, and this is our regular stitch, and just continue knitting. I just wanted to show you how much I have done so far. This is I knitted entire skein of yarn, and actually it came to about 25 rows and a little bit. Okay, and I will go and move now on knitting my sleeve, and later on I will continue finishing my bottom, my body part. Okay, I am working with my 7th skein of yarn, and this is how much I have done so far. I have 2 sleeves top, and I'm working on the bottom, and it looks like I will be having my sweater only to the waist. So if anybody needs sweater longer, you need to buy 8 skeins for you know, to make it long enough for yourselves. Okay, I am at the end of my skein and I need to knit my last 3 rows, which is the purl row, and then 2 rows of knit stitches, and then last 2 rows, 1 row of gray, and then bind off. Okay, so I need to do the same thing here on the bottom. So I will knit all around now. This is my starting, this is my beginning and end. And so I marked it over here so I don't have to be looking for my tail where I started all the time. Okay, so now I have to knit entire row in a purl stitch. So purl, purl, and all you that knit with the, that you hold your yarn in the other hand, you know that you will purl this way, right? Purl. Oops, wrong. That yarn needs to be in the front. See, I don't know how to do it with the left, right hand, but I figure it out right away. So all the people that knit, that hold yarn with right hand, will do it this way, right? Okay, and all the people that do it continental style will do it this way. Okay, so entire row purl stitch. I purled my entire row and I am ready to do my 2 rows with dark blue and then 1 more row with gray, and all these 3 rows will be knit stitches as you see, and then I will bind off. Okay, and all of you that are knitting with only single color, you will just do from now on 3 more rows of knit stitches and bind off. Here I am finishing my bind off, and I am just about to weave in all the ends as well, and then the sweater will be all finished. I just want to say thank you to all of you for watching my videos. Without you, I would not have so much fun, and I hope to see you again soon.